Welcome to the Inner Fight Endurance Team Running Academy in association with On Running. In this module, I'm going to take you through mindset. Our objective with the Inner Fight Running Academy is to make you better at running. Our approach to running is simple yet scientific, geeky yet very understandable. We will coach you to your running goal by looking at all factors of performance. We care about data, but most of all, we care about you, how you feel, and your enjoyment of running. When it comes to running, we believe that mindset is key, not only to optimal performance in any part of life, but also to ensuring that we enjoy the process. And in this case, that is running. Imagine having fun running. That's quite alien to a lot of people. This module, therefore, addresses all things mindset to enable you to develop a relationship with running that you may not have had before. One that looks forward to training sessions, enjoys the runs, and understands the positive impact that races and challenges have on your life. So what is mindset? Our definition says, mindset is your mental ability to set, endure, and achieve goals that will make you a better human being, teach you valuable lessons, and enable you to have unique experiences in life. That's what we believe mindset is. So then we go to the question, what is the benefit of a strong mindset? We believe that a strong mindset leads to increased performance, increased enjoyment of life, and in this case of running, increased achievement in life, and in this case running, increased opportunities, effective life management, increased life satisfaction, increased motivation, and increased inspiration, both internally and externally. They're all the things that you can enjoy if you're able to develop a strong mindset, which hopefully by the end of this module you're going to be able to do. We kick it off by asking you a simple question. Number one, who are you? By this I mean, what are your values that underpin your personality and in turn dictate the way that you behave in all areas of life? Just have a think about that for a second. What are the values that underpin your personality and in turn dictate the way that you behave in all areas of life? It's really important to identify these and understand them on a deeper level, as this provides you with a deeper understanding of who you really are and is the very basis for developing mental strength. I want to give you two exercises that I really want you to press pause now and take time to do. Exercise number one, write down your values. What are they? An easy way to do this is to think of the words that you would like people to use if asked to describe you. What are those words that people would use in describing your personality and things that you do, the way that you conduct yourself in life? Take a moment now to write those down. Once you've done that, the second exercise, take those words and ask yourself how you're living them out in various aspects of your life. If you can come up with some examples, that'd be even better. A simple example of someone's value could be hard work. If that's it, write down which things you do in your daily life that prove that value to be true. Some examples here from the Inner Fight values. Honesty, as I said before, hard work, fun, smash life, no weakness, simplicity. All of those 6 words mean something very strong to me and to all of the Inner Fight team, and hopefully to all of our Inner Fight clients. Each word is backed up by certain actions that we live out in our life. This is the very basis of building mental strength, understanding who you are, what your DNA is, and what these values are and how you live them out daily. Take as much time as you need to do this exercise. Make notes, write them down, speak to a friend, maybe your spouse. Ask them to verify what you've written down. To really understand your DNA of who you are is the most important and the first aspect of developing a strong mindset. Number 2, understanding the goal. There are a number of people that will say they're headed towards a goal, but don't actually truly understand it. Please, therefore, take a moment to understand your goal based on the following points. Firstly, take an inventory. What skills and traits do you currently have compared to what the goal needs? This is the basis of understanding a goal. List everything. List all of the skills that you think you have that are taking you towards that goal, and then compare it to what you think the goal needs. Secondly, break that goal down into stages. Can it actually be split into stages? If so, note them down, adding subnotes to each of the stages to describe things in more detail, what this goal actually means and how it's built up. Thirdly, write down what it will take. Ask yourself this question over and over and write the answers down, as they are answers you'll need to call upon. Understanding what getting your goal will take is the most important thing. If you're not clear at the outset, along the way you might run into some troubles. Building this strong mindset at the outset of setting goals is going to increase your chances of success massively. When we set goals, dopamine is released in the brain, which makes us feel great. It's a happy hormone. By understanding the goal clearly, this dopamine release happens over and over again, giving us a lot more motivation. You might have felt this in your own goal setting. When you set out and set a goal, you feel absolutely fantastic. But as time goes on and you really start to understand the goal, the feeling that you have about it might not be quite the same. Let's try and avoid that and build your mind up from the start. Spend some time now to do those things. Understand your goal. Make an inventory. Break it down into the various stages and understand what those stages really mean. And then ask yourself, what will it take? Write down as much as you can. And again, if you can verify this with a friend or spouse, that's going to be super beneficial. Point number 3, understanding the process. The process is what takes us to the goal. If we follow the process correctly, then achieving the goal is normally only a matter of procedure. It's going to happen. You'll arrive. So understanding the process is the key. And it's always a good idea to ask these questions. Number 1, what are the small things that will help me achieve my goal? List them down. Number 2, what are the things that I'll have to do every single day to help me get to my goal? Through those 2 questions, we get to see visually everything that contributes to our goal. The smallest things. We often focus on the end result, the destination, the goal itself, without thinking about the things that we have to do every single day. Some of the smallest things. When it comes to running, how are your shoes? Which socks do you wear? All of these things might seem quite small, but in the end, if your socks are giving you a blister, that is really going to slow your process and ultimately might cause you issues in reaching your end goal. So please take a little bit of time now, write down all of those small things. Some of them you'll have to work on every single day. Others, like the socks, is a one-time fix and you're on the way towards your goal. There are many situations where these 2 questions will spring up a lot more answers than you were expecting. And this relates back to understanding the goal. With the process being such a big part of the goal, many refer to things as the process is the goal, which I actually believe is partially true. If we focus on the process, understand the goal clearly, and execute those small things on a daily basis, reaching the goal is a matter of procedure. You'll do it because you've covered off all the small things. If you don't understand the process and you haven't taken the time to list down those small things and understand what you can do on a daily basis, then you may have less chance of being successful to reaching your goal. Number 4, preparation. Being well prepared is a mindset in itself. It is a personality trait of a number of successful people. I'm sure there are a number of people that you look up to that speak about nothing but preparation. In preparation, all of the factors that contribute to your goal must be considered. For example, what equipment do I need? We spoke on the previous slide about your shoes and socks. What about which shorts you're going to wear to run in? Do you get chafe? Small things like that related to equipment. There aren't too many questions you can ask. Just keep on asking and asking and asking those questions to ensure that you really understand what equipment you need. How much training time is required? In our running academy, you'll have gone through the intake questionnaire where we've identified how many hours you have to commit to training, and then we've programmed for you. Make sure that that training time is realistic within your current life and that your training fits in with it. There's nothing worse than along the way saying that the training is too much for the time that you have. Align on that at the start. You'll also need to understand if you need to change things, such as your sleep patterns. We've spoken a lot in the other modules about recovery and how important it is, and the fact that you'll have recovery sessions planned within your training peaks. We'll also track your training within the HRV for Training app, so there might need to be a certain change in your sleep patterns. All of this preparation is going to give you the best chance of success related to your running goal. Our module on nutrition really goes into detail about the food that's going to fuel your goal. It is very personalized for you. You need to test, retest, retest again, test in different scenarios to make sure that the nutrition that you're taking on board is fueling your performance in the best way. We should always look at and focus on and try to control the variables that we can, such as those above there. We then take 100% control and ownership on them, because there's going to be a number of variables such as the weather and such as what everyone else is doing that we're unable to control. And I want to encourage you not to waste an ounce of energy on those variables that you can't control. A strong mindset is understanding everything within your control and then controlling it, and not getting stressed out about everything that's outside of your control, because you're never going to control it anyway. Point number 6 in developing a strong mindset is simulation and suffering. To develop a strong mindset, we have to be ready to simulate difficult situations that are going to test us. And in doing so, there'll be a certain amount of physical and mental suffering. No matter if you're running a 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon, or ultra marathon, there's going to be different stages during that race that we're going to try and simulate in your training, so that when it happens in your race or your event, you know how to react and you can keep moving forward and complete your goal. We believe that it is in this suffering that as humans we learn and therefore grow. That's why we'll try and recreate some situations that you might face during your race in your training. It's super important, and your standards should be high. Your training is going to be hard, and your desire for learning should be ever present. Each difficult situation that we simulate through your training, you should see as an opportunity to learn and grow. There's nothing worse than encountering something brand new for the first time during your race. We'd much rather we'd able to simulate it in your training so that when it comes up in the race, you know exactly how to react. So what I want to get you to do is think about these points. Do you do things that scare you? Do you sometimes look at your training and think, wow, that's a really scary session? If so, you're on the right track. If not, let us know and we'll make your training a little bit harder. Do you feel that you're often challenged and out of your comfort zone? If yes, that's great. And if no, once again, speak to your coach and we will alter your training accordingly. Through personalized training and the platforms that we're using in the Running Academy to manage your performance and development, we can make changes to make sure that you're always challenged. If you really don't feel you are, please speak to your coach. Do you have goals that are way beyond things you've achieved before? We'll get this information from your intake questionnaire. It might be that you want to run a marathon faster, or a 10K faster. What we encourage you to do is always be pushing the limits. This will keep you motivated and it will help you to continue to develop an incredibly strong mindset. And finally on this, do you understand that physical and mental suffering is a way to learn and grow? As you've seen from the points I've shared above, that's something that we truly believe. We truly believe that through a certain amount of simulation and suffering, physically and mentally, you'll learn and you'll grow. The next time you come into that situation, you'll know how to react and you react in a better way. Achieving goals for the most part can be very enjoyable, but the mind needs to be ready to endure the hardship. Hence, this kind of simulation and suffering within certain aspects of your training is super important. Not every single session is going to have you physically and mentally broken. That would be poor programming from us. But there are certain sessions which are put in there to really test you. Embrace them, enjoy them, in the knowing that they're making you mentally stronger. Point number 7 in developing a strong mindset is all about winning. Winning is something personal. It doesn't have to be against those around you. Most of the time, it's against yourself, and it's something that's very private and very internal. No one likes to lose. I know that, and you know that. So if they say they do, they're probably lying. Therefore, we have to focus our energy to win in everything that we do to take us closer to our goals. That for us means doing every training session to the best of your ability. Means ensuring that you use all the platforms that we're offering to increase your performance and manage your performance in a way that gives you the chance to do everything 100%. Winning happens all around us, and quite often if we make it happen. Winning in itself is excellence and an attitude that says, if I'm going to do something, I'll do it 110%. So have a think about the things you have done or will do today related to your goals, and if you have won in each and every one of them. Earlier in this model, I talked about those small things that you can do every day. Just because they're a small thing, it doesn't mean you put less effort into them. The smallest things will help you to build towards your goal, in this case, running. A winning attitude in absolutely everything you do, no matter if it's selecting your apparel, food, sleep, or just having a conversation with your coach, is what's going to develop the strongest mindset for you. Thank you very much for listening to this model about mindset. I really encourage you to go back, replay the model, pause it at the times where I've suggested to do those exercises. If you've already done the exercises, please go back and go through them again. Reflect on your answers, share them with a friend or your spouse. Then come back to them a couple of days later and double check that everything still makes sense to you. Sometimes when we're asked for an answer to something, it might say one thing today and mean a different thing the next day. Who you are and why you're doing this is a massive part of having a strong mindset. So please invest the time to do the exercises and do them to the best of your ability so that you're very clear on everything. Thank you very much for listening. If you need any more help, hop over to innerfight.com/runningacademy and you can take advantage of all the resources available there.